Hi everyone and welcome to Isamu Rat Care. So today's video is going to be quite a short one. It's a nice little quick and easy make that you can do to help keep your rats cool. So it makes a kind of large ratty ice lolly. It's going to be very hot here. When I say very hot, those of you from hotter parts of the world will probably laugh when I say that it's forecast to be about 29. That's quite hot for the UK. In fact, I think down in the south London area is forecast to go up to like 37, which is kind of fairly epic for us. It's worth bearing in mind that whilst your rats may be absolutely fine at 29, rats that aren't used to it will find that very hot and kind of the same. It just depends on the size of the rats. In fact, I could probably do a whole video on the whole subject of how rats keep cool and the different methods that you can use for this. But this is a nice, quick and easy one that you can do anytime, and actually they can enjoy it all year round, but it's particularly good when it's hot weather. So what you want to start off with is a nice ceramic dish. Well, it doesn't have to be ceramic. I quite like using ceramics because ceramics hold the cold quite well, so it kind of, the outside acts as a kind of cold water bottle, much like, well, whilst keeping the insides nice and frozen. You can use plastic, just bear in mind that you're going to put a liquid in this, so it's going to expand, so the plastic has to be tough enough to allow the kind of liquid to expand out the top rather than just cracking, otherwise it's kind of messy. Yeah, I'm kind of go for ceramic dishes. You can do things like ramekins, you can do kind of animal feeding bowls that come in ceramics. This is a creme brulee tub of all things. Works really well. Not too deep, but it doesn't really matter. Just the idea is that what we're going to do is put in various different frozen veg and a nice liquid to kind of motivate them, and then freeze that, and that'll be an excellent treat. So, vegetables that I'm using. Now, I just kind of collect bits and pieces in my wrapped veg drawer in the freezer. This can be anything from bits that I find reduced in the supermarket to stuff that I've grown in the garden and I've grown too much of because I normally forget to harvest it until it's kind of wild and overgrown like it actually is out there at the moment. So I just kind of stick it all in the freezer and then use it for the rats through the year. Frozen stuff goes very well. It can even be bought frozen stuff. Actually, that's probably slightly better because it's frozen far more effectively than we can in kind of home freezer, so it preserves more of the nutrients. But this kind of works quite well for me. So I'm going to start off with a bit of kale. You notice the kale gets a little bit kind of limp after it's been in the freezer. This has been defrosted slightly because I filmed this once without pressing record on the video, so this is the second time. I'm now practiced. So all I'm doing is breaking this up to kind of put it in the bowl. I'm going to use a lot of dark green leafy veg. That's because it's my favourite kind of vegetable to give them. It's also what I currently have in the freezer. You could add different things into that here. What you want is to give them a little bit of variety. So we've got some frozen spring greens now. Again, nice dark green leafy veg, and that most loved of all rat foods, particularly in summer, and some frozen peas. So let's put a few of those in. Those tend to go down very well with my girls. Even have some free ice in there. And then what I'm going to add next is this is the bulk of it. I'm going to add a few kind of little treat items, which if you just put it in and it's a bit boring, they'll probably have a bit of a chew, a bit of a lick, then go and sleep and then wait till it's melted and eat it. If you put something that's really tempting, they're more likely to stick with the kind of chewing it and get more benefit of the cold. So this is chopped up frozen coconut. So I just got a full coconut, kind of opened it up, cracked it up, chopped up all the different pieces into small little bits, stuck it in the freezer. It freezes really well actually, and the rats absolutely love it. Think of it as like a milk ice lolly in there. So we'll put them, and I put them nearish the top, but enough so that they'll get into the ice, so that then the rats have to gnaw quite a bit of it. And the other thing I do as kind of a motivating treat factor is berries. So this is just a bag of ready frozen berries, which keep really well. I will warn anybody feeding berries is make sure you remember you fed berries, because you will come down the next day and it will look like a massacre has taken place in the rat cage. Some people say put a sign up to remind yourself. I have scared myself a couple times, but mostly I'm now used to it and just assume that kind of bloody smear is actually just a squashed strawberry or something. So we've got a nice mix of strawberry, blackcurrant. I'm not actually sure what that is. It's a raspberry, but it should keep them nice and busy. So nice and simple, pretty little mix. And all I'm going to do is add liquid. So this is suspiciously yellow. It's actually Dr. Squiggles water, or Daily Essentials water you could call it, which is a vitamin supplement quite commonly used in the UK. My rats really like it, they like to drink it. So I use it frozen. Not only do they get a bit of vitamin boost, but it's quite pleasant for them as well. You could use all sorts. You could use some fruit juices. Bear in mind you don't have to overdo the sugar too much, but it's still a nice kind of thing for them to eat. You could use some of your kind of non-caffeinated teas like peppermint or ginger or that kind of thing. Might be a nice thing for them. Or even something like soya milk. That could freeze quite well and be perfectly nice for them. Or even just pure water. It will still have a good go at it if it's pure water. It's kind of up to you really. I go for Squiggles because it's around and they like it. So then all I'm doing is I'm filling it enough so there's probably about ½ centimetre. Amusingly, I estimated that really well. And that's because the ice is going to expand as it freezes, if you remember your science lessons. So I don't want it too near the top, otherwise it'll start kind of pouring out. But that works quite well. So let's have a go without spilling this. So as you can see, there's a bit of liquid in there, and that's going to go in the freezer. And actually, if I could put it in the freezer tonight, by tomorrow morning it'll be fine to give them. And when I'm kind of in full-blown heat mode, I will typically be making up one every evening, giving them in the morning, so through the hottest part of the day they've got a nice ice lolly to eat. So, in true Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. So this one I put in the freezer a few days ago. As you can see, it's well frozen, but it also kind of shows the variety, how the water has expanded a bit there, but how everything's kind of locked in place with some bits and pieces that are tantalisingly kind of at the top to motivate them to eat it. It's lovely and cold. I could cool down quite nicely off this at the moment because it is quite warm already in here. So it's going to be great, and that's ready to go straight into the cage with anybody that wants it. So what I'll do is I will actually put one of these in. I'll show you. Here's another size. So this is a smaller ramekin for a smaller group. Exactly the same principle. Can't fit quite as much into it, but that works fine. So yeah, I'll stick this in with the girls so you can see what they make of it, and then see whether you can want to have a go yourself. So all ready to see what the girls make of it? We'll see if we can open the cage without everybody falling out. What's this, girls? And Burko, sorry. Right. No, Tater, let's not escape. So you can see right away just how enthusiastic they are about this. They're actually having quite a good go of pulling the whole ice out of there. That's because it's been out for a little while because I've been filming multiple times. But they're absolutely loving that, and you can see they're kind of going mad for the well, you probably can't see. I can see. Let's move you a little bit closer. Yeah, they're going back mad for the coconut first, which normally goes down really, really well. But they're also having a chew of just about anything they can get the paws onto, including Chocobo's got into the berry there. Burko, you're missing out. Tricks, come on. So yes, it's a very popular treat in this place, as you can see. Everybody loves it, and give it a go for your rats. Help them keep cool and be happy at the same time.